the Dream to Real Picture Show. And now here's our host, Pat Fuller.
Our show offers you something that no other shopping show has to offer. Let me say that one more time.
You wanted to give your prizes here and that you were here for that great cause of anti-bullying. And there's no way that I can stand here and take all of that from you.
Hello everybody and welcome to year 6 and the last year for Game Show Garbage as a regular series. I am Robert Seidelman. One of the things that really gets me about doing Game Show Garbage is that you take a look at a format on paper or a board game that gets turned into a game show. It's got all the right tools, but it gets so poorly executed that you just have to think, what the hell happened? And here is a prime example of what I'm talking about. Let's go back to 2003 and the new TNN and their game show.
And I can't even talk about how much fun it's going to be. What's the name of the game? I can't remember what it is. Oh, it's here on the floor. Taboo!
Taboo is a game show based off of the board game of the same name. At its core is a team of three 20-somethings playing the game and trying to get as many correct answers as they can without saying either the word or one of the 5 words deemed taboo.
Minogue, and I was the blank. I was the little...
The star? The
Answer
the prostitute.
Oh.
The show is hosted by stand-up comedian and runner-up of the 2002 Eminem lookalike contest, Chris Wylde. Wylde was fresh off the aptly titled The Chris Wylde Show starring Chris Wylde. No, I did not rip off a Yahtzee bit, that's exactly what they called it. Anyway, that show sucked. Mainly because Chris was a spaz and didn't know anything about making a good show. Then he got tabooed and reminded us how drinking a gallon of Red Bull is a bad thing to do before a show. He was all over the place and genuinely not funny at all. He could play taboo, but hosting left a lot more to be desired. We'll talk more about Chris's inanity in a little bit.
Say hello to a man who sweats more than a priest on the witness stand, Chris Wylde.
You know, in completely unrelated news, in baseball today, the Padres scored 3 times while the Cardinals scored twice. Let's meet our contestants right now.
To kick off the show, Chris would be introduced by a nameless announcer who tries to be funny with a statement. Then Chris comes off and gives a punchline that vaguely relates to that statement. Kills any momentum and is just painfully unfunny and stupid. It's like that awful Young Money song Bedrock, where every line is just one vaguely related statement to the last. But back to the game, or the start of the game. We get to meet the 2 teams, and thus we need captains. So to start, Chris plays the game with the 2 teams, and the first person from each team to get what he's trying to convey is the captain. I'm cool with this, since Chris is pretty adept at playing the game, thus knows how to get the contestants to say the magic word. So far, the game is alright. And to be honest, so is the first round, where it's just basic taboo. One member from each team picked by the captain has 60 seconds to convey as many words, people, places, things as they can without tabooing until the time runs out, or they run out of words in a packet. Each correct answer scores the team a point, but they have to make sure they don't taboo, because those will count against you if the score is tied at the end. Okay, I can hear you right now. Sure, Chris Wylde sucks, but that doesn't mean the rest of the show is terrible, now is it? Well, once you get to round 2, everything starts to fall apart. Round 2 is Celebrity Taboo, meaning all the subjects will be famous people. But since that wasn't exciting or difficult enough, something else was brought in to annoy the daylights out of people.
People, you will recognize fact or fiction. Oh. This noise. Yes, we get the point. This noise means that it's danger round. So if anybody taboos in danger round, you're in danger. I will put you in danger. Okay, so, or I will, it could be called symbol round. I don't know.
Basically, the quote-unquote danger was that you'd be annoyed by balls being thrown at you, poppers, and silly string shot at you by Chris Wylde. These were pretty stupid, especially since it doesn't really convey danger, just annoyance. Not only that, you're not in any real danger if you can still talk, which Chris and staff really don't hamper. This danger round comes off as haphazardly thrown together in order to spice up a word game. that really didn't need to be spiced up. The third and final round returns to round 1 style, with each correct guess being worth 2 points instead of 1, but instead of 5 taboo words, it's now 6. Once again, I don't have any problems with this round either. You know what? It's kind of weird. Anytime they don't deviate from the regular taboo format, the show isn't that bad. But when it does deviate, it comes off as loud and as annoying. Anyway, most points at the end wins the game, and losers are quickly shooed away by Chris with copies of the board game. Ah, yes, the classic trope of giving away the home game. However, it does kind of feel cheap when you're giving away a copy of the home game because you're based off a board game and that becomes the board game you give out. It could be worse. They could be giving away a cheap Croton watch with the Taboo logo on it.
Win or lose, everyone will go home with a Taboo watch made special by Croton. Croton fine watches since 1878.
Oh, wait, they do that. That's what the consolation prize is? I mean, what do the winners get? A cheap VTech phone?
Winners on Taboo will each receive VTech's 2.4 GHz cordless phone, which offers unrivaled security and range, Face Plus handset dialing, handset speakerphone, caller ID, and more from VTech.
Oh, they do that too? Man, this show was really done on the cheap, and I really can't forgive when you're giving away prizes that are below shop-to-you drop levels, especially from the Megastore edition. And come to think of it, let's talk about the set too, since it was bought wholesale off of Craigslist. But I already have enough to rant about already, so we'll just skip that. Let's talk about the bonus game instead. Before the bonus game, the winners pick from one of 3 trips, and unlike most sane people, they usually go for the worst ones, instead of the one they would have the most fun with. I don't know why. Tax reasons, I guess. I see most of the teams go for Mississippi rather than New York or Hawaii or Las Vegas or even Florida. These people are idiots. Anyway, the prize package plus a couple of lower items, once again below Megastore shop-to-you drop levels, and they throw in $1,000 each in spending money. Then they are showed their punny category, which is a concept that has been done to death during that time period, and have to get 6 correct answers in 60 seconds. The catch is that after they give a correct answer, pass, or taboo, they have to rotate clockwise. If they do that, then they get the trip and the shop-to-you drop consolation prizes passed off as grand prizes. If they fail, then they get the items that I made fun of prior, plus a cheap DVD player. So yeah, the show is cheap at the prizes. And that's basically Taboo. Does it deserve to be in the Hallowed Hall of Suck? Yes. Yes, it does. The main reason being it was an annoying experience, mainly by Chris Wylde and the stupid Danger Round. The prizes being insanely cheap even for 2003 cable standards, the set being one of the sloppiest, laziest things I've seen in recent memory, and they took a format that was ready-made for TV and decided that gimmick sold instead of the game itself. The show would go into rerun mode after only 40 episodes and stayed on the network until June before being told that Chris Wylde itself was a taboo word. And that's going to do it for this edition of Game Show Garbage. Next time out, I'm going to be taking out one of the most requested things I've gotten over the past 5 years. Sorry, Wink. The Family Channel Interactive Games. All 4 of them we talked about in 2 weeks. Till then, Robert Seidelman, bye.